So Barbara, we've been working with our presidential theme, So What's the Story? And now it's Christmas. How are we going to work with this one?
Well, Christmas is a great story. I guess we've all told it in many different ways. As a child, I got to be in the church nativity play, and I always seem to be the narrator. It's a complicated story. There's lots of different sides to it.
But I'll tell you one thing that niggles me. It's when people say, but is it just a story? As if that's not important. I know that as a child, it's easier to assume that everything happened as we're told in the New Testament, and as you grow older you start asking more questions about it. But even if we say it's a story, the point is this is a story that we can live.
Yes, I suppose by saying it's just a story, it implies that it's make-believe, that it's about fairy dust and fairy godmothers and sparkly things and happy endings. And actually living the Christmas story is much more than that. It's much deeper. And I think we've seen quite a lot of that living out of the story as we've travelled the connection and on our overseas visits as well.
We have. And so the notion that Christmas is about God being with us and being deeply alongside us and sharing in human experience has been very much one thing we've wanted to emphasise and something that we've seen in our travels. For example, when we both went to Zimbabwe in June, we were deeply impressed with how the Methodist Church, through its Development and Relief Agency, worked, or we can enabled us to go there. And we saw that in quite tough circumstances at the moment, they are able to celebrate and live out the fact that God is with them. And we've got examples from the UK as well, of course.
Yes, we've travelled quite widely and we've heard lots of different stories. And of course, the UK's been in quite a difficult political situation, a lot of upheaval during the course of our year. And so we've seen people being authentic to the Christian story and what God is doing in their lives and telling that narrative quite clearly. And I think it's hugely encouraging what we've seen and what we've heard.
So I guess what we want to do in this Christmas message is to encourage Methodists everywhere in this country to carry on telling the story and carry on living the story, and we want to encourage you to do that.
Yes, and in that process we all participate, we're all narrators, we are all storytellers.